Welcome to my channel. So I wanted to focus on some of our prime suspects' victims. Now, guys, I want you to understand and realize that we don't have all the facts in front of us. We don't even know what the police have on him other than what I'm going to be telling you. However, you know, his trial is upcoming in February, and we want it to be fair, right? Because if we nab the wrong guy, it's going to be a waste of everybody's time. Mind you, this other trial that's coming up is pretty much probably he's the one, right? But if it ever gets to Maddie and some of these other missing children that I'm going to talk to you about, we want to make sure that we're on the right track. I think he really, in order to do everybody justice, who has been touched by the Maddie case and who has gone through similar experiences, we need to give him a fair trial. Okay, so he is allegedly suspected of carrying out certain types of abductions. And other than that, we don't know what happened to these children. So hang on, and we're going to get to it. Now, what I didn't know how to approach was the how to divide it up, how to organize it and present it to you. I didn't know how to, if I should organize it by gender, by age. I think what I'm basically going to do is organize it by convictions. And so we're going to talk, I guess we're going to talk first about the women. And then in another vlog, we'll talk separately about the children who are missing. And bear in mind that the children who he has been involved with and he was convicted for, they remain faceless, nameless, anonymous. So I won't be able to go over those. And so I think it's important to distinguish that from the children I will be talking about. because it's going to be confusing, right? And so I won't be able to mention any more about children that were involved in crime with him because they are anonymous victims. So we have to leave it at that. And so let's start off the stories um, with the women. Now, I'll probably end up making this kind of as short as possible. And there are two women that he has definitely and conclusively attacked. And so I'm going to start off with those two women, and we are going to take it from there on into other cases. So bear with me and let's get started. Hi guys. So we have talked about the two young ladies whose perpetrators have never been apprehended. Nobody knows what happened exactly. Although our prime suspect was investigated, it didn't lead to any material evidence at all. And so we're kind of at loss as to what happened to Monica and Louise. So now let's move on to the two women whose attacks led to two convictions on the part of our prime suspect. So the first victim is a young lady who was actually working in Portugal, right in Praia da Luz. I believe in that complex where the McCann stayed. And it occurred in 2004. And she she was from somewhere else. Her name is Hazel Behan, and she was from Ireland. So, guys, she was a lovely. She is still living. A young Irish woman who was a some sort of a tourist operator or some sort of um, travel stewardess or something or another related to the travel industry. And so um she was staying there and she was actually stationed there. She wasn't just vacationing or passing through. She was semi-permanently stationed there. And so this happened in 2004. And so she was sitting in her apartment one evening, and this took place uh, approximately 15 miles. So it wasn't precisely in the same villa where the McCann stayed, but right in the same area, 15 miles from where Madeline first disappeared. And so in 2007. And so she what happened, guys, was that she called the police and it got reported. But then when she began to hear other reports of the woman who was attacked after her, she called them again to alert them to the fact that she believed that the two attacks may have been related to the same perpetrator. So what happened was she was basically he broke into her apartment and he beat her. Um, and he attacked her, he assaulted her. And so I'm sorry to use all these very descriptive and graphic words, but that's all I'm going to say. I need to get it out in order for us to understand where precisely the perpetrator is coming from. And so he was actually convicted of this crime. So bear with me. Now, what happened was that when he first broke in, she didn't know what he looked like because he wore a black mask, a woolen ski cap that covers the face. And so that is how he carried out his attack. And so he he actually, it was very similar to the next story that I'm going to be telling. And so Hazel was at the time in 2004 only a 20-year-old holiday rep who she did waive her rights to remain anonymous. She wanted to be known. She wanted to be public about it. And so she actually she suffered such a great deal. And it must have been very courageous of her to come out into the public and speak to newspapers and journalists about her attack, because it's always been the case where certain women are targeted for not how do I say this, for not being believed. But she actually it went over very well, and the public accepted her story very well, and very, as truth. And I am sure it's nothing but the truth. So I'm very grateful that she did come forward and make herself known and heard, because so many women don't. They don't want people who know them to understand precisely what happened to them. And so, yeah, that's a very courageous thing to actually do. And so, she she said that the incident that took place with another woman after her was so similar, bore so much similarity, that she was almost sure that it was the same person. Because, guys, it was confined into the same area. So, anyway, what happened was he came in and he had a machete. He had a machete. And so he gagged her, he tied her. And what he did was he filmed himself. He filmed the whole thing. He was merciless. He was so brutal and evil. It went on for 5 hours. Now, I don't know precisely what he was doing with the machete. Probably he was yielding it over her to intimidate her. Can you imagine? I can't. So what happened was that when she later heard about the other case and called the police, the Portuguese police had already ruled him out. Now, we don't know any such thing, because he had been then, in 2007, uh, he had been under investigation. So what happened was, guys, that I believe that the other case that I'm going to talk to you about in a little while, it occurred in 2005, but it didn't actually become public until a couple of years later. And that would have brought us to the year that Maddie McCann went missing. And so the police claim that they did suspect and investigate him. However, nothing came of that investigation. I guess there was not any at the time. There was not enough physical evidence, and so Hazel learned that they already ruled him out. And so he, at that time, was in Germany when she called them back, and he was present currently at that time being investigated for the murder of 24-year-old Monica Pollack, who I've already told you about. So, wow, we kind of we almost missed Hazel. They almost missed Hazel, but I think what happened was they were able to identify him, And there's actually not that much more information on um, how he was conclusively caught, but he was caught in that case, and he did go to trial, and he was convicted, guys, for what he did to Hazel. And so that brings us to the end of this case, and I will be discussing in the next vlog um, a prime suspect's brutal attack on an American widow. Stay tuned.